South Sumatra will use Islamic financing through Bank Syariah Indonesia. Harum Energy is targeting an increase in coal productions by around 25% in 2021. Market Headlines is ready to provide you a number of information from business, economic, and capital market sectors. With me, Clara Wijaya, and this is Market Headlines. So it is confirmed that Jalan Tim Road Preservation Development in South Sumatra will use Islamic financing through Bank Syariah Indonesia. The project is worth 644.76 billion rupiah. Director General of Highway of Ministry of Public Works and Public Housing, Hadi Rahadian, targets that constructions of Jalan Tim Road will be carried out on March 4th, 2021. Bank Syariah Indonesia for the first time led the syndicated financing worth 644.76 billion rupiah. If syndicated financing, Bank Syariah acts as a mandated lead arranger and also facility agent, guarantee agent, and escrow agent. Lucky Alfirman, as Director General of Financing and Risk Management Ministry of Finance, stated that the government is currently focusing on increasing equitable development through innovative and creative financing, one of which is through public-private partnership.
Melihat atau kita sama-sama mengetahui, Bank Syariah Indonesia (BSI) menjadi lead financier bersama tadi Panin Dubai Syariah dan juga PT SMI untuk proyek KPBUAP Jalan Jenderal Sumsel. Hal ini merupakan satu milestone menunjukkan bahwa kontrak skema KPBU dapat terima juga sebagai underlying bagi pendanaan berbasis syariah.
The syndicated financing in Jalan Tim Road Preservation's development is disbursed by Bank Syariah Indonesia together with Sarana Multi Infrastructure and Bank Panin Dubai Syariah, and also Jalan Tim Adi Abipraya. Of the total syndicated financing, Bank Syariah Indonesia's portion amounted to 248 billion rupiah. Meanwhile, the portions of financing for Sarana Multi-Infrastructure is 248 billion rupiah and Bank Panin Dubai Syariah is 148.76 billion rupiah. Jakarta, Adi Firmansyah, IDX Channel. The latest move by Bank Indonesia goes to relax down payment regulations to boost property and automotive sales. This will hinge on the appetites of consumers and banks as the demand will increase. The central bank has relaxed the loan-to-value or LTV and finance-to-value or FTV ratios. According to the head of Bank Indonesia's Macroeconomic and Monetary Policy Department, this policy will bring economic recovery faster. Central Bank would relax the regulations to allow 0% down payment for both mortgage and automotive loans to boost demand in both sectors, which have been battered by COVID-19-induced downturn.
PPNBM itu dinolkan itu kan supaya lebih murah kan, kendaraan lebih murah sehingga kalau kendaraan lebih murah ya lebih affordable gitu ya, sehingga demand untuk mendapatkan kredit juga semakin meningkat. Termasuk juga KPR ya, dengan LTV itu dinaikkan, artinya kan menjadi lebih affordable kan, dia bisa pinjam tanpa harus DP yang terlalu besar gitu kan. Jadi inilah upaya kita untuk mengadres masalah pertumbuhan kredit ini.
The central bank has relaxed the loan-to-value and financing-to-value ratio, the ratio between the loan and asset value to 100% from previously 85 to 95%, depending on the property type. The relaxed terms are to be effect from March to December in this year. From Jakarta, Rahajo Pamo, IDX Channel. On the other hand, government's decisions to remove luxury tax on car sales to boost its automotive industry is considered as late decisions by the Economic Observer. Even though it is late, but Executive Director of IndiHome stated that the decisions can support economic recovery in this year. Executive Director of Institute for Development of Economic and Finance, or IndiHome, Tauhid Ahmad, stated that government's decision to remove a luxury tax for sales for sedan and two-wheel drive cars with engine power below 1,500 cc is considered as a late decision. Compared to the other countries, Indonesia is lagging behind. For example, Thailand and Malaysia, which have provided incentive since mid-2020. Thailand provides corporate income tax exemptions for 3 years. The country has also launched trade-in coupons worth 100,000 baht for each, or equal to 47 million rupiah. As well as Malaysia provides 100% tax incentives for domestic cars.
Sebenarnya ini dari sisi ini aja kelihatan bahwa memang growth-nya ini sudah lumayan membaik begitu. Nah, ini yang saya kira kalau ini dilakukan sepertinya sudah relatif terlambat begitu dibandingkan yang seharusnya dilakukan. Nah, karena apa, kalau kita lihat beberapa negara itu dilakukan pada pertengahan tahun 2020. Kita agak relatif telat karena growth-nya sebenarnya sudah relatif membaik.
The government, Bank Indonesia, and Financial Services Authority bolster alliance to protect the economy by giving booster from supply and demand sides. On the supply side, in the near future, Financial Services Authority will issue an ATMR policy which encourages bank to boost credit. Jakarta, Rahajo Pakmo for IDX Channel. On the other hand, the Indonesia Real Estate Association is pessimistic that central bank policy to allow 0% down payment for mortgage will not bring significant impact to the property demand. Head of Indonesia Real Estate Association, Toto Klusida, raised his concern about central bank's policy to allow 0% down payment for mortgage. Toto said that the current problem is not a matter of paying down payment, but the fear of banking in distributing mortgage loan. According to him, banks are more now stingy in providing property loans to the public. Plus, the percentage of people who buy houses through mortgage loan currently drops from 90% to 60%, while 30% of the buyer's house in the house scheme, meaning that the buyer does not pay installments to the bank, but directly to the developer.
Efektif itu adalah proses pencairannya. Proses pencairan yang kita inginkan adalah supaya dipermudah. Sekarang ini sangat sulit. Ibarat kalau zaman sebelum COVID itu kita 10 ngajukan end user, 8 disetujui. Kalau sekarang itu 10 bisa 0 yang disetujui. Jadi harus bagaimana caranya supaya kredit KPR ini untuk end user itu bisa dipermudah, filternya tidak diperketat sehingga bisa.
Market headlines will be right back after this quick break. Stay tuned.
Ya halo pemirsa, nama saya Mangivera Tjong. Saat ini saya menjabat sebagai presenter dan juga associate producer. Saat ini saya membawakan program IDX Session Closing, di mana di program tersebut saya menganalisa isu-isu ekonomi yang menarik, baik dari luar negeri maupun juga dari dalam negeri. Tentunya, hingga saat ini saya masih terus belajar dan saya sangat menikmati profesi tersebut.
Welcome back to Market Headlines. The Board of Directors and Supervisors of BPJS Kesehatan dan BPJS Ketenagakerjaan for the period 2021 to 2026 have been officially inaugurated. After the inaugurations, the President Director of BPJS Kesehatan, Ali Gufron Mukti, stated that the BPJS management will always make improvements, especially in terms of service quality.
President Joko Widodo has officially inaugurated the Board of Directors and Supervisors of the Social Security Administering Body, or BPJS Kesehatan and BPJS Ketenagakerjaan, for the period 2021-2026. In the ceremony, Deputy Minister of Health 2011-2014, Ali Gufron Mukti, was inaugurated as President Director of BPJS Kesehatan. In addition, there was also Deputy Director for Treasury and Investment BPJS Kesehatan, Arif Wicaksono Juwono Putro. In the same time, President Joko Widodo also inaugurated members of the BPJS Health Supervisory Board, Ahmad Huryanto, a former government spokesman in handling COVID-19. After the inauguration, the President Director of BPJS Kesehatan, Ali Gufron Mukti, stated that the management of BPJS Kesehatan will always make improvements, especially in terms of improving service quality.
Dan kami juga ingin meningkatkan dan fokus kepada kualitas layanan, sehingga kualitas akan meningkat, keseluruhan dari customer journey akan kita tingkatkan dengan inovasi teknologi, interface, sistem informasi, sehingga antrian tidak lagi sekitar 6 jam tapi bisa lebih cepat. Nah, yang kedua, kita ingin meningkatkan bagaimana kepesertaan.
Meanwhile, on the composition of the BPJS Ketenagakerjaan Board of Directors, former Deputy Director of Bank Negara Indonesia, Anggoro Eko Cahyo, was appointed as the President Director of BPJS Ketenagakerjaan. Then Abdurrahman Irsyadi, who held the position as Deputy Director for Human Capital BPJS Ketenagakerjaan. From Jakarta, IDX Channel's coverage team reported.
Yes, viewers, on Monday this week, the President has officially inaugurated the directors and supervisors of BPJS Kesehatan and BPJS Ketenagakerjaan. So, who have been actually inaugurated? And what are the challenges for these two Indonesia's giant institutions? Let's take it deeper through the following infographic. Here it is through your screen. We can see the new Board of Directors. First of all, we can see the new President Director. Please welcome Ali Gufron Mukti. And then we can see the Director. There are apparently 7 directors in here. Mundi Harno as a Director, Arif Wicaksono, Andi Afdal, Mahlir Ruby, Edwin Aristiawan, and also Director of Finance belongs to Lily Kresnawati and also David Bangun as the Director. And the President Director of BPJS Kesehatan, Ali Gufron Mukti, said that the director's initial focus was efforts to improve service quality to the public by making improvements through technological innovations, interfaces, information systems,
it is certain that queues will no longer have to reach 6 hours, but rather quickly. In addition, he ensured that the new directors would seek to perform better relating to BPJS membership and also invite relevant stakeholders to address health problems in Indonesia. And likewise, the supervisory board of BPJS Kesehatan admits it is not easy matter to solve various problems in BPJS Kesehatan, especially since the challenges will be even greater in the future. And regarding BPJS Kesehatan, one thing that we cannot separate if we talk about these institutions is the financial performance, where we know the financial deficit has always been a scourge for time to time. So how was the financial performance of BPJS Kesehatan until the end of 2020? Let's take a look at the data in the next graphic. Through your screen, we can see the financial performance of BPJS Kesehatan starting from 2015. That is deficit 9.4 trillion rupiah. This huge amount of deficit was reduced in 2016 by 6.7 trillion rupiah deficit. Still in the number of deficit, and it grows up to be 19.4 trillion rupiah in 2018. But however, there is an anomaly gesture in 2020, because by the end of 2020, we can see that BPJS can record a surplus of 18.7 trillion rupiah. And therefore, BPJS Kesehatan announced that in 2020, it had managed to overcome the deficit. And yes, it is proof that in 2020, it had managed to overcome the deficit, and also it becomes to a really good, greater into a following infographic. So we can see into the next infographic. Through the next graphic, we can see a list of BPJS Ketenagakerjaan new board of director. First of all, we can see Anggoro Eko Cahyo, that is listed as a president director. And then we can see a couple of directors as well in here, which is Abdurrahman Irsyadi as the director, Asep Rahman Suwanda as a director as well, and then Roswita Nila Kurnia as the director, and Zainuddin as the director as well. We can see that under this new board of director, it lies a good hope, because BPJS Ketenagakerjaan has really heavy challenges in the upcoming years, because following years would be a greater demand for the economic recovery. But however, there are some challenges behind this new board of directors. So what are those? Let's see through the next graphic. Through the next graphic, we can see that there are many challenges of BPJS Kesehatan, but I would list it into three main topics in here. First of all, increase of a coverage of social security participants administered by BPJS Ketenagakerjaan. And the second thing is that improving services and also benefits for workers participating in BPJS Ketenagakerjaan. And the third one is that optimizing investment in BPJS Ketenagakerjaan managed funds. As we know that managed fund is not an easy thing to do, and therefore we really owe a lot and hope a lot for the new board of directors to strive better for BPJS Kesehatan and also BPJS Ketenagakerjaan. Stay tuned to market headlines, because we will be right back after this quick break.
Saya Prisa Samodatu membawakan program berita News Screen yang menghadirkan informasi seputar ekonomi maupun juga bisnis dari dalam negeri.
Welcome back to Market Headlines. Viewers, let's take a look at Jakarta Composite Index Intraday movement. So JCI earlier today opened at the level of 6,245.59, and in approaching the closing time of the first session, the index was on the level of 6,259.98, and the index was showing strengthening trend by the second session closing time. The index was closed at the level of 6,272.8. In short, JCI went up 0.28%. Next, we are going to see the sectoral movement. Leading the dynamics of today's trading, we got infrastructure as the leader of the strengthening trend that went up 4.66%. Music industry that went up 0.72%. Mining went down 1.31%. And constructions went down 1.05%. And moving on to the top gainers and the top losers, let's see the key highlights from today's trading sessions. We got Telkom Indonesia as the top gainers that went up 9.46% to the level of 3,470 per share. We got BBCA that went up 0.52% on the level of 34,125 per share. Next, we got Bank that went up 21.49% to the level of 1,470 per share. Next, still from the banking issuers, we got BBTN that went up 3.63% to the level of 2,000 per share. And meantime, for the top losers for today's trading sessions, we got Aneka Tambang that went down 0.34% to the level of 2,940 rupiah per share. We got MDKA that went down 2.83% to the level of 2,750 rupiah per share. We got Harum Energy that went down 6.76% to the level of 6,900 rupiah per share. And BMRI that went down 0.78% to the level of 6,325 rupiah per share. And next, we are going to see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. So rupiah opened at the level of 14,126. Rupiah was also showing strengthening trend towards US dollar and was closed at the level of 14,076. In summary, rupiah went up 0.35%. Harum Energy is targeting an increase in coal productions by around 25% in 2021. The company mentioned that the target was based on ongoing trend of rising global coal price.
Harum Energy is optimistic about targeting an increase in coal production by around 25% in 2021, especially in the midst of the rising trend in global coal prices. President Director of Harum Energy, Rai Antonio Gunara, emphasized that the company is trying to consistently maintain its performance this year. Not only paying attention to the achievement of production targets, this company will also prioritize its operating margin. Meanwhile, the company's coal production in 2020 is below 3 million tons. This result cannot be spirited from the unfavorable coal market conditions over the past year. For this reason, the momentum of the rising trend in coal prices will be utilized optimally by the company through selling coal to the export market. The director also said that Harum Energy is actively looking for opportunities to expand the coal export market, such as to Thailand, Bangladesh, the Philippines, and Vietnam. In addition, in order to diversify its business, Harum Energy will continue to develop its business in the nickel commodity sector in order to strengthen its performance in the future. IDX Channel's coverage team reported.
To support expansion agenda and boost this year performance, telecommunications provider Indosat Ooredoo has allocated a capital expenditure of 8 trillion rupiah for 2021.
To boost performance and expansion this year, Indosat Ooredoo has allocated a capital expenditure of 8 trillion rupiah. According to the Director and Chief Financial Officer of Indosat, Eas Naif Asaf, the capital expenditure allocation is 11% lower than last year's absorption of nearly 9 trillion rupiah. However, the company's capital expenditure tends to be flexible. As for last year, Indosat prepared a capital expenditure in the range of 8 to 9 trillion rupiah. Increasing and expanding the 4G network, it's still the main focus of Indosat in allocating capital expenditure. So it is hoped that Indosat's performance can continue to be boosted. As added that the company is targeting revenue growth this year in line with industry growth, and Indosat also maintains an EBITDA margin of between 44% to 45%. From Jakarta, IDX Channel coverage team reported.
Step aside from market conditions, as coronavirus pandemic takes a big role on current economic situations, here is an update data about coronavirus globally. And the news close our market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, your trustworthy economic business and capital market channel. I'm Claranda Wijaya. Have a nice evening and stay safe.